the topic chosen. Under the umbrella of architectural journalism lies the plethora of forms of writing. So, as opposite of one might intuitively think, architectural journalism actually has a lot to do with a lot of other aspects than just talking about what's happening in the architectural world. Um, so, yeah, it's not just about explaining a design. There are so many more opportunities in this field than just explaining design or assisting in interpretation of design for the readers. Uh, if you think about it, we are introduced to the subject of architectural theory in our syllabi, right? And I absolutely love that the subject becomes, and I absolutely love the fact that the subject is so interesting in terms of the fact that it gives you windows to the architectural masterminds, and they give you a glimpse of the thought processes and the complex theories that went into establishing the concepts that then eventually erected or designed the buildings that they did design. So, in that sense, architectural theory is a very important subject, and that happened because someone took the responsibility of documenting all of those in word format, right? So that's where you also understand that architectural writing and architectural writing as a medium to get into the glimpses of what happens in the background also becomes a very interesting domain to delve into. And of course, matlab, architectural writing में perceptual thinking, creative writing, there's also a lot of scope for that. Architectural journalist doesn't limit to writing about the buildings, writing about the architectural trends, writing about the styles of architecture being practiced in the current times. It also has to do a lot of with what do you think or what ideas do you have about architecture in your own personal space. So that opportunity, that freedom to express that personal outlooks, personal opinions, also becomes very, very great an opportunity. And so it comes with a certain, like, there are very less barriers. And research enthusiasts, it's a fantastic opportunity for a research enthusiast because you can be the one to document and generate research papers, write articles, etc. So these form like the general list of what formats usually come into the architectural writing. But what's fun is that once you have the power of the words, like once you equip yourself with the right words, there's no one to monitor you, or there's no one to actually stop you to fit those words into any format that you like. You can actually, choose some unconventional manner and go about it. And there's no restriction as to that you're only supposed to restrict yourself to uh, papers or articles or research papers, etc. What's interesting to note is that this field is not unpopular because of a lack of scope. Not at all. There's tremendous scope, and I'll tell you how. The reason that it is unpopular is simply because India is still in the process of taking it seriously. India is still in the process of talking about it more and including it in a concretized manner in the college curriculums in our syllabi. So that while the process remains to continue, while the change is happening, while it is being talked about, what also remains true is that still there's tremendous scope. We're in the age where every damn organization wants to have a digital presence. Like the world is turning online. So, while it's great to have a building offline and out there in the real world, it's almost a must to have the right kind of relatable words about your building on the social media platforms, on the digital portals. So, content is becoming king that way, and social media is becoming the grounds of the competitive world that is today. So, everyone is going to be like wanting someone to have those right words for their design so that it appears on better positions in the Google search list. So, in that case, the concept of binding architectural world together through magazine is also only recently achieving the attention. And so they're going to be looking for writers is what the output of this whole trend is. And most people tend to think that blogging is not a serious, like blogging is not legit, but I strongly advise you to look into this thoroughly. And once you do, you're going to realize that it's an extremely comfortable and exciting and fun as a full-time profession. So, it's still a budding profession. There's a lot of scope. There's a lot of opportunity for you to customize your vlogs according to your interest, according to your niche, according to the niche that you choose to expertise in or delve into or learn more about. So, like, congratulations. There's a lot of scope there as well. And International Committee of Architectural Critiques is a proper organization which has which have the most amazing critiques, architectural critiques from around the world. And you'll be surprised to know that there's not one Indian member as of today. So, in that case, India has a lot to do, in a lot of progress to make in terms of architectural journalism. And that is where the scope comes in. Okay. That being said, how can you start? First and foremost thing is, do not wait. It's not like you have to wait till like your 5 years of architecture are done with and then you can probably start looking into it. It's not at all true. You don't have to wait to the end of graduation. And as baby steps, you can start reading. Read a lot. Read daily. It doesn't matter if you're sticking to architectural readings. Read a lot. It's just that, the more you read, the more you tend to develop an understanding of words, communication, writing patterns, writing styles, and that is always going to help you as an architectural writer or as an architectural journalist. And practice writing. I mean, daily, thoda bahut bhi likh liya to bhi, it's not going to help. It's going to help you a lot over, uh, like, small habits in the long term give a lot of unpredictable results. So keep writing if you're going to be seriously considering architectural journalism or writing. And start small. I mean, as I mentioned before, the smallest change that you can do after understanding what scope lies in architectural journalism is start taking those small paragraphs on the corner of your sheet in your AD sheets or in your design sheets seriously. Seriously sit down and draft those. Do not keep them towards, like, what, last year 5 minutes mein main dal दूंगा. Do not do that. Start small and start working on those little things. Internships, I tell you, there are so many magazines, so many firms who are looking for young interns and who are looking for architect. They're not even like, they don't even have a necessity that you should be graduated. You can be pursuing architecture. You can still be doing your course, and they'll be more than welcoming you to have, like, experiment with their content, work with them, edit content for them, write content for them. So in that case, there's a number of multiple platforms which have those kinds of opportunities. So you can also look them up. And I'll also provide some resources at the end of the presentation. And then are, of course, short-term courses. Short-term courses are only, like, they've only started appearing in the last 1 to 2 years. But there are a few short-term courses which have been performing well and their reviews have been really good. So there are a few architects who have personally started delving into the importance of architectural journalism, and they have started hosting these workshops and master classes across a number of colleges so that colleges can understand why it's important and all of that. So you can look those up, but majorly just start doing it. You don't have to, you don't have to even pursue the short-term courses first and then apply for internship. You can just apply. A lot of people just apply and they get in, and that's where they start developing their writing. It's fine, just start with it. Long-term courses are, of course, there. There are a multitude of courses that are coming up in recent in recent times in terms of long-term courses. So, masters ke liye, you can probably consider going abroad. There are a number of courses, and the fun thing is that they're so experimental. Like, there's some courses which have poetry and architecture. There are some courses which integrate photography into it very much, and there's a lot of experimentation being done. Some courses are more towards research and architecture and writing architecture, and some courses are more towards history and writing architecture. So there are a lot of, like, a plethora of combinations that you can probably choose. And as and when you start, investing your time, investing really into all of these things, you'll gradually develop your niche. As in, are you interested in writing about buildings? How are they doing? Are you interested in writing about architects? Are you interested in writing about the trends in architecture? Are you interested in writing about content that can help students? Whatever it is, you'll gradually find that. And I mean, there is not a lot of systematized process in place that can help you, kickstart it step by step and all of that. It's not there. And frankly, in a field like writing, that is actually a benefit. It's a huge benefit because you have freedom then. You have all the opportunities out there for you, and even you can generate some new opportunities for yourself. As for starting, just do it. Just start writing. Just start applying for internships. Go on internshala. Go on intern theory. Start applying. You'll definitely find some place to begin. So that's how you can probably start. What lies ahead? A, in a case where you consider architectural journalism as a full-time profession, after you are done with your masters, after you're done with your bachelor's, there are a lot of opportunities because the whole idea of turning digital, the whole idea of virtual presence is rather new, and everyone wants to design their virtual presence. So in that case, they're going to be digital and broadcast media who's going to look for content writers and architectural journalists, and of course there are architectural firms who are going to be wanting to create that kind of presence online. So it's not just that their website will have a compilation of their own projects. They're going to want someone to maintain a blog of their firm. So, probably you'll have opportunities there. Academic writing is always there because there are a lot of architectural writing and journalism courses which also couple up with teaching. So there are universities who take up students who are particularly interested in teaching. So, in that, on those lines, you also have opportunities in academic writing as well. So that's there. And then, of course, you'll have proper research and architectural building organizations who are looking for experts in all fields. They'll also look for experts in interior design. They'll also look for experts in just writing and producing content. So that's where you come in and build avenues for yourself. I mean, there is so much that you can do because of a lack of it currently, that architectural journalism comes off as a powerful opportunity. So, it is uncharted in India, and the present batch of designers like us, we people have the biggest opportunity to set the tone for the profession, because if we delve into it seriously, if we produce our best work, if we keep our best foot forward, we're gonna actually define the importance. This is the time when we define the importance of architectural writing. So in that sense, you're going to be very important in your contribution towards the profession itself, and not just your personal career. So that's there. These are just a few resources that can help you get started. A few books by the pioneers of architectural journalism. Apurva Bose Datta, graduated from Chandigarh, Sept University, was sorry, Chandigarh, Chandigarh Architectural College, was the first person ever to start delving into the importance of architectural writing, and she has worked consistently for 13 years into this field, and she's going to help you a lot in terms of why this field is important, what scope lies here. And she wrote this book, Architectural Voices of India, in 2019, and in that book she strongly talks about what the future of this domain, and what's the future of this as a career option. And you'll be surprised to know the scope that there is. Gautam Bhatia again is a loyal Laurie Baker follower, and he went on to write his biography. And his work, his writings have also been published and critiqued by Gautam Bhatia in this book. And Papal Suneja is a young architect who has started this trend in India, which is about going to colleges, getting workshops done for them in architectural journalism, and trying to strengthen the roots of architectural journalism in India. And he wrote this recent book of exploration of architectural journalism in India. You might not find it online, but it's there and it's genuinely very helpful. Like, I got to read a bit of it, and it's helpful. Again, some of the articles which are going to probably help you kickstart it, and of course there are a number of articles, but these articles are like the most concrete and most crisp in that sense. So you'll probably have a great start with these articles. I can share these links with you if anyone's interested. We'll be opening up to question and answers. I'd like to answer this first question that was um, sent previously, and talk about, do you feel architecture writing, or rather any writing, is not believed to be a relevant or useful territory for many because of complex writing? Uh, okay, can we break this by changing the usual ways of literary expression and go by less is more first? For example, stand-up comedy, spoken word, anecdotes, Instagram posts, etc. Can be explored to explain complex concepts in a relatable way. Definitely. I mean, as I said, there's not a lot done. So, because of the fact that there's a lot not done in this field, there's no concrete format in place for you. There's no grounds that have been set that you need to follow on and tread on. So the opportunity to explore is tremendous. And questions like this is where the concept of generating avenues comes in. For example, this is the most simplest way I can break this down for you is that मतलब we यशराज मुखाटे का रसोड़े में कौन था meme that went viral. It's he is getting the opportunities of his life because of that one video, and what he did was just a little bit different than what all the other Instagram singers and composers are trying to do. What he did was that उसने बस एक existing dialogue उठाया. He put music skills into it. He showed what his composing skills are, and that's it. He got to meet the most amazing people from the field, and he's going to appear on TV shows and everything. So what he did is that he created a separate platform for himself in that sense, because there are not a lot of memers or music composers who use dialogues and who don't delve into that manner. So in that sense, you can always blur these lines and break these boundaries, and there's absolutely no one who's going to stop you from merging technical and creative writing, because eventually it's all about how you can communicate in the most crisp and in the most appealing manner. So if you think you can perform better, if you think you can explain better via poem, if you can make it funny and explain it better, if you think you can connect with humor, there is absolutely no boundaries to that. Apurva Datta Bose, who started this trend, or who started this importance of architectural journalism, who set the career of architectural journalism into motion. She goes about talking a lot. Like not just writes, she actually goes and talks to college students. She has performed, or she has presented her work in a spoken word manner across various platforms, and she thinks that it doesn't have to like stop at writing. She doesn't believe that it stops at writing. So in that sense, she is also, creating a separate platform for herself. So in that sense, everyone's hungry when something new is being served. So go ahead, do something new. It's fine. And the only thing that matters is that keep exploring. I mean, I can't stress this enough. 5 years of your life doesn't mean that, you have to just stick to architectural course and just stick to that competitions. There is so much more that the world is doing, and just because you're not exposed to it doesn't mean you can't go explore yourself. So architectural writing, is something that even I stumbled upon after I started delving into content writing in general. I was more interested in content writing in general, but then I understood this, I got into this, and this is something that I probably not want to do. So in that sense, the only thing is to keep exploring, and the ideas are going to come in as and when. This was from my side, but can we please have some more questions if there are any? I'm so sorry I missed your chat. Yes, definitely. There are so many more layers to writing and reading than just one paragraph that we put on our sheet.
No, I would like to ask what was your experience as a content writer, because I think you did some internships as a in architecture journalism. So like you
Yes,
would like to share your experience.
yes. I think I had the most fun doing it. I mean, when I reached my fourth year, I became so disinterested into architecture that I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this. I just want to get into writing because I'm good with words. I'm good with spoken word. I just want to go into a different domain altogether. But then I was like, you know what, architectural writing is something that I can actually do because background hai, padha hai, so why not put it to good use? So then I got into architectural journalism internships, and I did one with Rethinking the Future, and I am also doing one with HAPHO. So HAPHO is more about you know interior design in terms of what materials are going to help you build that particular space up in that particular vibe and all of that. So it's more of construction and detail. But Rethinking the Future was a blast. I mean, I had the most fun writing for it, because the topics were so extremely damn interesting. I'll tell you that there were topics which were like, you know what, suggest what you think should be bettered in curriculum, in architectural curriculum. So I was like, you know what, this is not making sense. This is what should be done. I had a lot of freedom to express that. And then there were topics which addressed mental health. There were topics which challenged architects up front. So I got to write about some extremely, powerful stuff in that sense. I got the opportunity to work under great mentors at RTF. The editor helped me a lot. So in that sense, like I had a blast. And in terms of Hapo, the like Hapo in general genuinely helped me a lot improving my writing skills, because when I started both of these internships, I did not have experience in content writing as such. I was doing a few I was doing a few blogs and stuff which were basically about general writing, like life motivation and stuff like that, but that I never had like a proper experience into architectural writing. In that sense, Hapo and Rethinking the Future collapsed, and like they happened side by side, and रीथिंकिंग द फ्यूचर के लिए वर्क प्रोड्यूस करने में हेल्प मेरे को ज्यादा से ज्यादा हैपो से मिला, because that is where they wanted, you know what, produce 4 to 5 articles a week, and that was a lot of writing. So I got a lot of development, and I could establish my writing style, and in that sense the internships helped me a lot. And of course, you know, when you're not professional and you still get an opportunity to work and you get appreciated for that work, it's extremely satisfying, and it's extremely motivating. And in that sense, architectural journalism is a completely fun career, because you know, no one's like, you know what, तुम्हारे पास architectural journalism की degree नहीं है. I was like, no, that doesn't matter. So people did give those opportunities. So yes, I did have a lot of fun.
Okay, I think that there are a few of us who actually have similar kind of issues regarding expressing ourselves. Not everyone can express very nicely through sketches. So yeah, when we are comfortable with writing, we can actually use it in our curriculum also, and for further opportunities also.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, Devika, it was a very concise presentation. I mean, it was very on point. And one thing which I have personally realized this year is how important subjects like architectural theory and humanities are. The kind of module that they have designed for us, the way our submissions have been curated. It is like for the first time in my 4 semesters, we were asked to actually write for both of these subjects. And our final submission for humanities is writing a 3,000 word essay.
Yes,
essay. So it's going good. I mean, the importance of these things are increasing. Last year, our seniors too did writing architecture competitions, and they bagged, I mean, winning entries in it. So it
yeah,
has been kind of inspirational to us. So we too are into it. And one thing which I actually used to feel about architecture through my 4 semesters is whenever you take an architectural book to read, it's super complicated. I mean, these are so simple things said, and they're in such a complicated way.
yes,
And I used to feel, and that was my disconnect with architectural theory in my second year. Like, "Hi, itna kyun complicate karna hai?" But after coming in third year, and the entire that module happened, I realized that they too want to try to simplify things and not complicate it. And you don't have to have that super high fund vocabulary to write something or to explain something.
definitely.
Even in simplest words, you can.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel it's good. Right now, it's going good for me.
That's great. Yes, I mean, you very rightly pointed out that the architectural theories are very complexly written, and the words are heavy, and it's just too damn heavy to read. I mean, I still struggle with it because, you know, elective tha abhi, so we also struggled with that. Fifth years also struggled with that. So it's completely fine. But then, as you said, it's genuinely they attempting to simplify. But then architecture is at its core such a complex system, you know, coming together. So in that sense, it does seem like the writing is elite, but it's just trying to help you out. So yes, the elective, yeah. Okay, guys, if you have any other questions, you can probably drop them in the chat box as well or unmute. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I had a blast preparing for this. Thank you for your questions as well.
Yeah, before we end the meet, I would like to just say that we are planning this to be like a series of webinars in which we'll later even call experts who can actually tell us what's happening in the field more, and like encourage us also. Okay, guys, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Devika.
Thanks, guys.